Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 17 of Direwolf20's server play. You can see me just getting logged in here. Looks like Asnor blipped a little bit. What's up, Asnor? And Tog's around, and so is Pahimar, but I don't think he's on TeamSpeak. So he's a bum. I did make myself a second iron tank, and this is going to be my creosote oil tank, and you can see some coke oven bricks in my inventory. Hooray! And I'll be pretty much getting the coke ovens going. So, got to figure out exactly where I want these bad guys. This is my coke oven right here, I presume? Nope, it's right here. Okay, so that's that guy. So what I actually also did, and I made a change between last episode and this one, is got rid of the valve here. This iron tank kept resetting on me and losing its contents, and I don't know if it was the valve being there or not. I already reported to Covert, and he says he thinks he found the bug. So we'll test it again at some point in the future. But for now, I wound up moving the valve to the back. So the valve actually runs up behind this machine. I've just got some facades on the front here. So you can kind of, let's see, if I knock this off, you should be able to see. So there you go. It's just going straight up the wall into the back of that tank.
Oh, I have a question for you, Direwolf.
Sure.
If I wanted something to stay on for like a second from a pulse, would a state cell work for that?
Sure.
Couldn't remember how those things.
Yeah, what it'll do is you put the redstone signal into the side of the state cell, and you set the timer, and the front stays powered for as long as the timer is running. So when it receives the tick on the side, it starts running, and then once it's done, it pulses on the other side.
All right, cool.
Good deal. One thing
does that work when it receives a signal, or on a high edge or a low edge?
When it receives a signal on a high edge or a low edge.
Like the state cell, does it start the timer when you power it or
yes.
Unpower it?
When you power it.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, if it's not working, I can just throw like a pulse former in front of it. That should make it work.
Cool.
But yeah, I wanted to use the managers to
do fun and
send a signal to a red power engine, but
okay.
Hooking a timer in front of it won't
now I remember what I wanted to do.
Won't keep it on long enough.
Correct.
Maybe I just want a NOT gate so that when the manager's not satisfied, the engine pumps. That's probably the easiest thing.
Probably. That should work. I'm about to use a manager too. Hopefully by the end of this episode I'll have a manager going. So yeah, guys, what I'm hoping to set up is a neat little creosote creation system downstairs here.
Yeah, I probably won't. It's still a ways off for me, I think.
Yeah. Hey, I see cats sneaking around in my basement. Alright, so I'm just debating where I want this thing built. Good question.
The coke ovens?
Yeah.
Well, let me see. I know I had a hard time placing mine. I had to do weird hats to get them to work well with red power.
I'm sure I can figure it out. Probably gonna want.
Ooh, everyone's joining.
Oh yeah, man. CBW's on now? Awesome. So if I have that here,
Yeah, Covert suggested I used item unloaders of all things. It's a really weird thing to use without rail carts,
They
but
work though.
um, they're useful as kind of a buffer between the red power system and a buildcraft inventory that needs stuff on certain sides. Because it's smart about where it unloads its product to.
Gotcha. Interesting note about the facades. Okay, good to know. This is going to be a little tricky. I'll be back in a minute, guys, once I figure out exactly how I want to get this going. Alright, guys, we're back, and I am getting ready to do some stuff. So I've got myself a few more coke oven bricks, and I figured out the layout I want to have. So this is going to be the basic gist. Boom. Two nice fancy looking coke ovens right next to each other, and they will be connected over here with some wooden engines and some wooden waterproof piping. So there we go.
Do you know if red power machines treat PC pipes as inventories?
Treat Buildcraft pipes as inventories?
Yeah. They won't.
Example? I don't think so.
They won't try to put something in an adjacent pipe, right?
I don't think so. I've never actually tried that. I'm pretty sure
Okay.
they don't.
Because I don't want that to happen, and if it does, I'm gonna have to like make this not as compact as I want it.
Gotcha. Ooh, this is a nicely compacted system now. I'm pretty happy. Now, let's go get ourselves some resources to start making creosote oil with. Just so happens I have a bunch of wood over here. Now, in theory, I just
Yeah,
wood
that
in the coke
requires
ovens.
either lots of coal or lots of wood.
Yeah.
I opted to go with wood because it's a little easier to get.
Right. Wood works, but I think it gives you much less creosote. Let's see.
Probably.
Let's see. Coal to coal coke gets you half a bucket's worth, and wood to charcoal gets you a quarter bucket's worth. So it's about half as effective to use wood as coal. So I should get a quarter bucket's worth per piece of wood that goes in here. Slow, yes. But now for the fun part. Now we're going to build a neat and fun system to keep this thing running. And that's going to be using the new managers that we saw in last episode's series. LRM implemented managers, which are pretty awesome. You can check out the recipe right here somewhere. Manager, there we go. It's a regulator, a sorting machine, some iron, some red doped wafers, and some blue alloy ingots. So quite an expensive machine, as a matter of fact, very expensive. So I'm going to head back to my house to start crafting this thing up. So as this might be a little bit time intensive to start doing this whole crafting thing, I'll be back in a few once I've got a manager or two made. Alright guys, just to update you on my progress, I've got an item detector plan and a buffer plan because I need those guys to make the regulator, which I have a plan for now, and I'm making myself a few regulators. There we go. Awesome. And that will get me part of the way towards the manager. Next up, I need a sorting machine, and that is going to be a little bit more complex. I need a filter, and filters I know off the top of my head, so I might as well be just making them. And I just need some pistons. What am I long? Oh, cobble. I'll get the tin plates out of there for now. Cool. And from there, we just need to do this. Hello, user.
Hello.
Oh, it's Soren.
Oh,
What's up, buddy?
homework.
Ew, homework.
Yeah. I don't want to do it, but I have to.
Yep, homework's important.
Indeed.
All right, so sorting machine there. Okay, cool. Sorting machine. Regulator.
Are you recording or you have your announcer voice switched on?
I am. I'm making a manager.
Ooh,
Yeah, lots of fun.
indeed.
Nice. Just gotta
Did you get one?
grab some space. Pretty close. I just need to get myself a few more red doped wafers, which I'm gonna go do off camera. And then, yeah. Let's see. Maybe not off camera.
Yeah, I know I'm gonna need a lot. I think I'll put throw in a whole stack of redstone
For what?
for red doped wafers.
Yeah.
That'll get you about 16.
Yeah, that's enough for 2 managers. He
Alright.
takes 7 each.
Wow.
Woot! I have 3 managers. Awesome. Now I get to really play with these things. I'm excited. Yeah. So let's head over to my area down here. I'm probably going to want to have some other items on me. Let's see. Maybe I should have brought them along with me before I went running. Probably want my
So you know you're giving me a tutorial on these, right? Later.
managers. I'm going to give a mini tutorial right now. Probably
Okay,
should
you're
also
gonna
have
give
some
a
pneumatic tubes. What's that?
You're going to give a very brief overview of them later then. So I know what they're supposed to do.
Well, come to the room where I'm making all the liquid tanks and you'll see.
Let's see.
I know, you've got it rough, dude. It's tough. I know.
Gotta open up multi-NC and physics
Launch
homework
the
problems. Like,
game. Hey, look, I've
Yeah.
got creosote oil. Nice.
yay.
Now we're happy. I had to sort them out myself as well. So basically, from my understanding, is we're going to want to have a manager hooked up to each one of these guys, and then we're going to want a chest, and we'll have a manager hooked up to the chest, and we can use the managers to ensure that everything stays supplied. That should be really fun and cool. So how about I get all the items I need? I'm going to craft a chest or two and maybe a couple other things, and then I'll be back in a few minutes, guys. Alright guys, we're back, and I am doing this. Infinite water source. Not a big deal. I want to do the following. I want to get a thermopile going in here. So, just deciding exactly where I want to place said thermopile. Might want to place it over here. Might not be a bad spot. Sure, why not? I'm thinking lava on the bottom, thermopile here, and then we're going to want water source blocks. I might want to actually move this guy. Back one.
It's always fun to get back a thermopile.
Yes.
Am I gonna lose it?
Lava. Thermopile.
Okay.
Thermopile.
Okay.
I was like, wait a second, that doesn't look like a thermopile.
I'm saying it's like, that'll work.
There we go. Not too shabby.
Nice.
Do you have any smooth stone on you?
Probably not.
Probably not. Alright, I got some.
Okay.
Gotta love portal guns. Alright, so that should be producing power now. And we should start building up a charge. Nice! Battery box is up and running. Now the question is, where do I want to set up this chest system I have in mind to have?
Somewhere down here.
And there goes the last of my iron again. Someplace nice and fun to chill. So basically, I'm going to need to run managers into each of these guys, and I'm thinking it needs to be something that looks like this. Now, you know what? I think that is right. I think we want that face being like that.
Yeah.
Probably. And then we should have some pneumatic tubes running somewhere. Or do I want this running underground? That's the question. The ultimate question. Alright, let me think about where I want this layout to be, guys, and I'll be back. Alright, guys, how's that look? Not too shabby. My only problem then is getting Buildcraft power over, or Red Power 2 power over here. So I'm going to need some of this stuff and some of this stuff. I'm probably going to need a bit more blue alloy ingots and either some wool or something along those lines. Do we have any sort of sheep farm yet, by the way? That's probably next
no.
on my list of fun things to make.
I need to make one of those too. Plan on making a wire factory.
Yeah. I think I need a sheep farm. I think that's next on my list of automations.
Indeed.
Need a lot of deployers and stuff for that. Oh boy, that's gonna be a lot more iron.
Running out of that, don't you?
Bad spider.
So what you're telling me is that most of my recipes need to require iron. Right?
Something like that.
Okay.
Yep.
Happy birthday.
I'll be right back once I have all the resources I need here. Okay, we're back. I got the resources I need, I hope. BSWE joined us on the server, but I don't think he's on TeamSpeak.
I don't think so either.
Oh well. So here's my sorting or my manager setup thingy. How is my bat box doing? It's slowly getting power from the little machine next to it. That's okay. What I'm thinking here is... Yeah, that's probably not going to work, is it? I can't just put this here, can I? Yeah, I can. Nice. Someone wants to get in my way.
I do. Though compared to 1.3, you can't push each other now, so that's kind of nice. In a way.
Yes. Yeah, it's very Tech 3 looking. I'm making one if you want to come on. Oh, you know what? Yeah.
As you explain it to try to get on TeamSpeak.
Yeah.
You should
What do you
come
want
join
from
us on Teams. Never mind.
Okay, you convinced me to log just to look at that.
What's that?
The thing you're mining.
Manager,
Yep.
hurry! We have about 10 minutes. Dire time.
User
I'm
joined
gonna
your
enclose
channel.
Cats in there because he keeps getting in my way.
Hello.
Hey, what's up, Slowpoke? I'm recording.
Hi.
Cool.
Yep, I'm explaining managers in my underground room here if anybody wants to come check them out. I'm gonna wait a minute because I know Azenor is coming and so is VSWE and everybody. So give me a minute here. Plus, I need some more batteries. So I'm gonna go get a couple of them and fill up this battery box. Alright guys, back on recording. Everybody's down to check out the manager and how it works. Alright, so I'm putting in the top chest here a bunch of wood. Cool. Now what I want to have this do, and I'm going to take the wood out of the coke ovens, in fact. That sounds like a good plan to me. Put that wood in here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it up so that the managers keep the coke ovens filled with 32 pieces of wood at a time. Now hopefully this thing can go in the side. I'm thinking it might actually need to go into the top, and if that's the case, it's going to be a little trickier, but you know, I'll figure it out. We'll see what happens. So let's give this a shot. So I'm going to tell this thing, I'm going to grab a stack here. Two half stacks, basically. I'm going to set this guy as priority 2 and put it in this mode, I think. I'm going to set this guy to priority 1 and put it in this mode. And what should happen now is hopefully cool things. Maybe not. Priority 3? Thought I knew what I was talking about. Might be lying.
Rotation move? No, doesn't work.
Don't think it needs to be. Well,
No,
it might
they're
need to
both
be
oriented
rotated.
correctly.
They might not be
They-
oriented correctly. I'm not sure. I'm actually thinking maybe it has to be oriented the other way around. So let's give this a shot.
Yep.
Okay. So we're gonna make this guy priority 1 again, and I'm gonna put half a stack of oak wood in there.
What are these spaces flush with the chest that had up? As an example.
There it goes.
Never mind. Oh.
Oh yeah, look, it's going into the wrong slot. I was afraid of that. Alright, but basically the way this works is that a higher priority manager will pull items from a lower priority manager. In this mode, it's going to go ahead and pull the number that I tell it. And in this mode, the little loop, it's going to just keep pulling until it fills itself up. And oh yeah, look at that. Funny things are happening. Cool. So yeah, we don't want that to happen. It's not falling out of the pipe. It might be falling out of the coke oven? I don't know.
No, it might be like the transposer where it ends up.
That's a good question.
I'm not breaking one of these.
So now that I put it back in that mode, it's going to go ahead and just, you know, bounce the items around. So that's kind of neat. So let me go figure out exactly... I'm probably going to have to go ahead and throw this thing in the top. So that will be fun for me, but not really. So I'll be back in a minute, guys.
How does it?
Alright guys, now there's one other thing that I'm noticing here and I want to try and resolve. Note that the manager, when it spits items out into here, it's like overloading the pipe system, right? Just like a normal pneumatic tube would. And then just like a transposer, it's going back into this like phantom inventory. It's not going back into the original chest. I want to see if by putting a restriction tube on the side of this chest, it will then route all items back into it. Oh, that's not good. That's not what I wanted to do. I'm going to need a cover there. So that's going to kind of work. And then a restriction tube right here.
Take it. No one knows the ID to a manager.
User left your channel.
Yeah, that's not going to work, is it? I think what I'm going to want to do here then is put this in here. Then it's no longer going to loop it. Okay, that's cool. I'm learning managers as I go. Sorry. So what should happen now? I'm wondering if the restriction tube is now needed still. I'm going to try this without the restriction tube and see if the items go back in. So what I'm going to do is so So we've got 4 stacks of wood. If I take this out, it should start... Alright, so maybe this has to be a higher priority. There it goes. Alright, so I was backwards a minute ago. So now will it go back into the chest? It does! Nice! That's awesome. So it does go back in the chest. Alright, I just had my managers backwards. Alright, so the way this works is that it will send to a higher priority along the system. So this manager has priority 3. It's higher priority than this guy. So what I should really probably do is drop this guy to 0 and make this guy 1. Okay? So now what happens is we're telling it that oak wood is allowed to go inside this chest. So any excess oak wood, because it's in this mode here, it's going to allow infinite amounts of oak wood to go back into this chest. Any excess will go into this chest that enters this pneumatic tube system.
User disconnected
And
from your
this
channel.
guy, I could go ahead and put 32 in here and make this priority 1 as well. And what should happen now, so 32 oak wood here, this guy on priority 1, this guy priority 1. Do I have to bump this up to 2? 2, 1. Alright, now I've got it all mixed up in my head again. See, I would think this would be working. What am I doing wrong here? Priority 2.
This is not rotated.
Oh, there we go. That's why. You are correct, sir. It's the lack of rotations. Alright, now I have to get it so that it actually goes in the right slot of the coke oven. So I'm going to do that now. Alright, YouTube, we are back. Don't ask about the hoppers. Alright, go ahead. You're going to ask about the hoppers, so I might as well explain what happened. There's a weird bug with these managers at the moment, where it seems like only certain directions can I connect pneumatic tubes to them. So again, beta testing, right? This is what happens. You find things like this. If a manager is facing downward, tubes will not connect. See? They will also not connect on certain sides, it would appear. Ignoring the fact that these are connecting right now. See how it's not connecting on that side? But it is connecting on that side? Very weird. And same thing, right? And then these directions, so things are definitely strange. So I've got to, well, I mean, those are actually kind of alright. Yeah, I don't know. Things are weird. So I got to mess with them and talk to LRM and we'll figure it out. But yeah, she'll fix it and I'll get back to you on that, why that's happening. But for now, we should be in pretty good shape. So what I'm going to do is set this thing up and tell it that it messed do certain things. Are you already messing with stuff? Are you putting wood in there, Soren?
Whistles.
Yeah, you are. So Soren's already messing with it. He set it up so that 4 oak wood. Now remember, they're going to go into the the hoppers, right? They're not going to go into the coke oven.
Correct. So probably need more demands.
It's okay. The only thing is that we want this guy in loop mode.
I just don't see that in there.
And this guy can be priority 1. And this guy can be priority 2. And that should all work.
Neat.
Maybe we'll make this guy 1, this guy 2. Alright. So now it should do its job. It should basically keep 4 oak wood in the hoppers.
The only thing we can't do with this is request the charcoal to be pulled out.
I can do something separate for that.
Okay.
Looking pretty good, right? Not too shabby. Now I should have more wood over here that I was storing. And I will make this system a little bit tidier and more complex, or, you know, less complex looking, more tidy. I wanted to have the chest right here, and then the manager behind it and the other 2 managers on top facing downwards. But like I said before, things just ain't working. So got to get on that bug fixing thing with LRM, see if she can't figure out why they would connect in funky ways like that. But then once they do connect, maybe I'll rebuild the system and make it the way I want it to, which is all fancy and pretty. All right, YouTube, I'll be right back. Oh yeah, and look at that. We've reached the wrapping up point, right about the 30-minute mark. So this is a pretty good wrapping up spot for this episode, as a matter of fact. We've got all our systems working and behaving themselves. They're auto-feeding, and any oak wood that gets used up is getting refilled. And then this is going to be the source. So basically what happens is we just keep filling this thing with oak wood. Now I might go ahead and start switching this over to coal at some point, depending on my coal reserves and whatnot. So our only options here are wood and coal. And we'll, deal with that as time comes along. But for now, I think we're in pretty good shape. I'm actually pretty happy with the way this worked out. Looks pretty nice. Relatively compact. Not as compact as I would have preferred, but, it's alright. Yeah, not bad at all. So this is Direwolf20 signing off on episode 17 of Direwolf20's Server Play series. Come back next time. I think the managers we covered pretty well in this episode. I might want to get working on some more stuff. You can also see I hooked up these pipes back here. Might want to get working on a few more things going forward. And yeah, I'm thinking it's time for a sheep farm pretty soon. All right, guys, take it easy.